So get this. We're going to talk about a story that involves a brand new belt, a ridiculously long journey, and a command from God that is just, well, it's bizarre. It's honestly one of the weirdest, but also one of the most powerful object lessons in all of ancient history.
Okay, let's dive right in. We're talking about the prophet Jeremiah. And this whole thing, I'm telling you, it sounds like a prank at first. But the meaning behind this incredibly strange errand, it's no joke. It's actually a pretty devastating message about pride, a ruined relationship, and an entire nation that's about to completely fall apart. So let's solve this puzzle together.
All right, so it all kicks off with this strange command about a simple belt. But the instructions God gives Jeremiah are so specific, and they're what sets the stage for everything that comes next. I mean, just look at this list. First, go buy a brand new linen loincloth. Okay, then wear it right up against your skin. But, and here's the wild part, you can't let it touch water, ever. Then you've got to take that dirty loincloth on a massive journey, we're talking hundreds of miles, all the way to the Euphrates River just to bury it in a rock. And after waiting for many days, he has to go all the way back and dig it up again. What a huge, bizarre amount of effort, right? So after all that walking, all that time, all that effort, what does he find? The loincloth is an absolute mess. It's rotted through, it's mildewed, it's basically just falling apart in his hands. It is completely and utterly useless. This whole elaborate task just leads to this single moment of decay, and that's when the light bulb goes on. And here's where we find out this whole thing wasn't just some strange project. It was a physical sermon. It was a living parable. You see, the ruined loincloth wasn't the point. It was the illustration for a much deeper, much more painful truth. And this is such a powerful picture of the core message. A loincloth, right? It's an intimate piece of clothing. It's meant to cling to your body. And God says, that's how I wanted my people to be with me, that close. They were supposed to be his source of praise and glory in the world. But because of their stubborn pride, they just refused to listen. They started following other gods, and they ruined that relationship. They became just like that rotten cloth, totally useless for the one thing they were created for. But believe it or not, that was just the warm-up act. God then tells Jeremiah to go to the people and state a really simple fact. Every wineskin will be filled with wine. Now to them, this would have sounded, well, dumb. It's like saying every cup is for holding water. You can just picture them rolling their eyes and scoffing. Yeah, obviously. You think we don't know that? They have absolutely no idea what's coming next. And then comes the gut punch. God completely flips the meaning on them. He says, oh, you are the wineskins, and you're not going to be filled with wine for a party. You will be filled to the absolute brim with my judgment. No, this isn't about celebration at all. It's a metaphor for a complete societal breakdown, a kind of divine drunkenness that causes so much chaos and confusion that the whole society just implodes, with fathers smashing against sons and neighbor against neighbor. And to make it even more chilling, God makes it crystal clear that his protection is being completely withdrawn. He says he will not pity them, he will not spare them, he will not have compassion. The judgment is coming, and it is absolute. There are no more off-ramps. But right when you think it can't get any heavier, the whole tone just shifts. We move away from this epic scale of divine judgment to the very human, heartbreaking pain of the man who actually has to deliver this message. You have to understand, Jeremiah wasn't some cold, detached messenger of doom. He was shattered by this. He tells the people, look, if you refuse to listen to this final warning, I'm going to go away and just weep in secret. He's not crying for himself. He's crying because the Lord's flock, his own people, are about to be dragged away as captives. And what's so crucial to get here is that Jeremiah's grief is really a reflection of God's own grief. The prophet is so in tune with God that he feels what God feels, this deep, sorrowful love for people who are walking straight toward their own destruction. It's like he's a direct window into God's own broken heart. He isn't just delivering a message, he is living out the heartbreak of it. So all of this, the ruined relationship, the coming judgment, the profound heartbreak, it's all building to one huge final question. You have to ask, is ruin really the final word here? So Jeremiah asks one of the most famous and powerful questions in the entire Bible. Can something fundamentally change its own nature? This question, it just cuts right to the very core of the problem. Is change even possible at this point? And the answer that comes back, well, it's just crushing.
The text basically says that, just as a leopard can't change its spots, neither can you do good, you who are accustomed to doing evil. Wow. Their bad choices aren't just actions anymore. They've become so deeply ingrained that their sin has literally become part of their nature.
But the story doesn't end there. Hundreds of years later, the Apostle Paul comes along and addresses this exact same impossible problem. See, back in Jeremiah's time, the relationship was based on the people clinging to God through obedience. But as that ruined loincloth proved, human pride guaranteed they would fail. The New Testament completely flips the script. It introduces reconciliation, not as something we earn, but as a free gift of grace that restores the very relationship our pride had shattered.
And so, in the end, this whole incredible chapter doesn't leave us with a final statement of doom. It ends with this haunting, sorrowful question coming from God Himself. It just hangs there in the air, filled with this incredible sorrow and longing. And it forces us to think about the true weight of our choices, the depth of God's grief, and the absolute tragedy of what happens when a relationship designed for something beautiful becomes utterly ruined.